Social Security has come up. It is estimated that the Social Security Trust Fund would become exhausted between 2036 and 2041. What would you work for to remedy this situation if you are elected? And you will each have a minute to answer. We'll have some time for rebuttal. And we're going to start with you, Mr. Moody. That would be 1 minute.
Okay. I do support reforms to Social Security, but I definitely do not support privatization. In 2011, the trust fund was valued at $2.7 trillion. The program is predicted by many analysts to remain solvent for at least the next 20 years. Although it is imperative that we begin reforming Social Security today, we also have time to make gradual adjustments without cutting benefits. Balancing the budget and stopping Congress from raiding the trust fund are critical to maintaining Social Security for future generations. Reforms should include steady increase in the retirement age beginning in 2020 and gradually relegating programs to the states.
Thank you. Mr. Cowan.
Well, thanks, Ann. First of all, it's important to remember that the Social Security Fund is not going to be completely exhausted. Worst case scenario, it still is 75% funded, even at the end of the period you're talking about. So it's not exactly that dire of a situation. It's very easy to make a few corrections. We have time. We have lots of time to make that. And one of the things we'd do to raise the limit, the income limit where you actually are subject to Social Security withholdings. And that would pretty much take care of that issue quite a bit. So really, it's really important to remember it's not as dire as people think. I mean, there's a lot of messaging going on, particularly in other people, but it's not a dire situation.
Okay, we do have time if either of you would like to say more on this subject. Mr. Moody, about 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're both pretty much in agreement on this subject. There is plenty of time to reform this program. There are groups and organizations and a strong voice coming from the right suggesting that we do not have time to reform this program and that that we do have to cut it, with an axe rather than trim the fat. And so I think we're in agreement. We do have plenty of time to reform these programs and make sure they're there for seniors today and for future generations.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Cowan. And let's remember, Ann, that it's one of the best programs our government's ever invented, actually. And it serves so many people. It's critical, and we will do everything to preserve it. And again, I agree with the distinguished gentleman to my left that it's not as dire as it's been messaged.
Okay, let's move on to a different.